Medellin. Even though I've been living here for 14 years since 2010, I feel like there's a lot of the city that I haven't seen. I've always wondered, if I had some extra time and I was feeling a bit crazy, how would I spend it? How would I see as much as possible? Well, I've got two solutions for that problem. Number one is to drink as much coffee as possible. And in this case, I'm drinking this 50-cent coffee that I bought from one of the vendors over here that's more sugar and water than it is coffee. Number two is the Medellin Metro. In this video, I'm gonna stop at all 27 stations. I'm gonna explore the surrounding area, I'm gonna interview some locals, and I'm gonna buy some crap that I probably don't need. It's gonna be a long one. Let's go. Our first stop is Niquia. And Niquia is in Bello. Bello is a city adjacent to Medellin, which has 500,000 people. This stop is a pretty prevalent stop because of the fact that all of the people from this area come here to go into Medellin, to go to work, to go to school, etc. So it's very traversed. And nearby we have a very famous mall, which is called Puerta del Norte. So let's walk over there. As you can see, there's street vendors out here as well in front of the metro station. But I want to check out Puerta del Norte. I haven't been here in years. Puerta del Norte has 300 plus shops. It's got a movie theater, a large supermarket, a department store called Flamingo, and a health clinic called EMSA. It's one of the largest malls in the metropolitan area. So as I'm walking through Puerta del Norte, I found this very cool little shop that sells band shirts, and I love band shirts, so I'm checking them out. Let's see. All right, so they've got a bunch of different band shirts. These are all XL. They've got Pantera, Nirvana, oh that's a cool one, Pink Floyd, Guns N' Roses, Queen, Kiss, Black Sabbath. ¿Cómo? 38, listo, gracias. So you could definitely get these shirts a lot cheaper in downtown, but since I'm here and I haven't actually seen that particular Nirvana shirt before, I'm definitely gonna get it. I've got my shirt from Comic City. Make sure to check them out if you're ever in Puerta del Norte. Let's head to the next metro station, let's go. So the only way to get on the metro is by buying a metro card with a certain amount of money, however much money you want. One ride costs about 70 cents. You could also get a Civica card, which you carry around, or use the Civica app, which is even better on your phone. And if you're a local, you could get a Bancolombia Civica card where you just use your bank card. So the train's here, we're heading south to the next station. Let's go. I've never actually been to this stop, so we're gonna explore the surrounding area, see if we can find anything interesting. Dad, have you ever been to Bello?
No, first time.
First time in Bello. So it is Saturday morning, we haven't had breakfast, so we're gonna look for a place to spot up and have something to eat real quick. Okay, so we found this little spot to have breakfast in, waiting for a table here. So they were out of breakfast there, so we're actually gonna head on the metro, go to the next stop, and maybe find something to eat over there. All right, our third station is actually still in Bello. We're not even in Medellin yet. It's called Madera Station because there's a creek called La Quebrada de Madera, and it forms a natural boundary between the city of Medellin and Bello. Let's check out the surrounding area because I haven't been here in a good like 6 or 7 years. Let's see if they have any actual breakfast spots here. This is a typical Colombian breakfast. It's called calentado con huevos revueltos y arepa. Calentado is reheated leftovers. You can add a piece of protein on there like chicken or pork or steak and the scrambled eggs, and you can't go without the arepa. You're not real Colombian if you don't have an arepa for breakfast. So I use it like this. I grew up in Southern California where a lot of Mexican food, so I use the arepa like a taco. Boom. That's breakfast. All right, so we just finished breakfast. Now we're heading back to the metro to go to the next station. The only time I've ever been to Acevedo Station is to get on the metro cable that goes up into the hills. Past Santo Domingo, you can go up into Parque Arví, all the way over there. But I've never actually been into the neighborhood here, so let's check it out. So as you can see, Acevedo is a very low-income neighborhood. It's probably a strato 3 and below. I found this little juice spot here, so let's buy some juice from this guy.
Guarapo.
¿Puedes explicarnos qué es guarapo?
Guarapo es la caña de azúcar, de donde sacamos la panela, el azúcar. Se parte la caña y se le echa limoncito.
Okay, he's gonna show us how he makes it using this contraption here.
Esta es la molienda donde se muele la caña.
crees que este barrio es peligroso?
No, el barrio no es peligroso, es como en todas partes, hay gente buena, hay gente mala.
¿Qué le dirías a alguien que esté visitando acá y que pase por Acevedo?
Que primero que todo, que vengan a probar por el guarapo.
All right, so you heard it as our friend told us that this neighborhood is not dangerous. If you're looking for problems, you'll find them. But if you're just living a regular life, even if you're just passing through, nothing really is going to happen to you. People are lovely here. They want to work. They want to enjoy life. So we're headed to the next metro station. Medellin is amazing. If you're coming down here for your first time, or maybe you've been here and you're coming back and you're planning a trip, you know how hard it is to plan things. I've gone to many cities and I've planned trips and I always feel like I missed something. And I've been here for 14 years and I know I still haven't done everything. So what I've done is I've created the Medellin Made Easy course. My team and I have spent many hours creating this to help you get the most out of your Medellin trip. We cover everything from what hotels are the best rooftops in the city, best restaurants, best tours. And I even go over hidden gems in the city, things that only locals do that you want to check out because it'll make your trip so much more unique. Furthermore, we have a private Facebook group where you can ask all your questions. Me and my business partner, AK, will be there to answer them. And you can make friends with everyone else that's taken this course. How much does it cost? Well, we could charge hundreds of dollars for this because obviously it will save a lot of people a lot of money and time. But right now we're giving it away for $47 US. Go to the link in the description below to the Medellin Made Easy course. Join our group, ask your questions, and make this the best Medellin trip ever. Our fifth stop on our journey is Tricentenario, and Tricentenario is named after the tricentennial to commemorate Medellin's 300 years of being founded. This is the greenest neighborhood in Medellin. It's often called El Barrio Pulmón, the lung neighborhood, because it has over 3,800 trees in the vicinity, and it also has 800 different species of trees. We're not gonna do anything here because there is nothing to do here because it's a residential area. We're gonna get back on the metro to the next station. Let's go. Our next stop on our adventure is Caribe, and this is a noteworthy stop because it's where El Terminal del Norte is, which is the northern bus terminal. If you're going anywhere out of Medellin or through Medellin by bus, you're probably going through here. Thousands of people traverse this every day. So let's go check it out, see how much the bus fares are. One of the most famous bus lines out here that is actually very comfortable, I've gone through it, all the way to Bogota, which is about a 9-hour trip, is called Bolivariana. I haven't gone on a bus to Bogota in like 8 years. I'm gonna find out how much the bus fare is. Buenas, ¿a cómo está el pasaje para Bogotá?
¿Para cuándo?
Para, puede ser hoy más tarde.
De 101.000 pesos.
¿Cuánto?
101.
101. ¿Y para mañana?
Mañana estarían 117, 101 en la mañana, 101, 117 en la noche.
Alice, muchas gracias. Okay, so he said it was about 100,000 pesos to get to Bogota from here on the Bolivariano bus. Those buses are really nice. I've been on them. I've done that trip. It's about 9 hours if you don't hit traffic, by the way. But it's about 100,000 pesos, which is about $25 to go 9 hours in an air-conditioned bus with a recliner, with a movie being played, etc. So it's not a bad deal. I still would rather fly. All right, let's get to the metro and get to that next stop, Universidad, or university. It's called that because it's right next to two universities, Universidad Nacional de Colombia and the Antioquia University. We're not gonna go in there because it's Saturday, there's not many students out, no school today. So we're gonna get back on the metro to the next stop, Hospital. And you guessed it, it's because there's a few hospitals here. My favorite thing about this station is that it's close to the cemetery called San Pedro, which is not only a cemetery, but it's also a museum. So let's go check it out. Unfortunately, they didn't let us film inside of the cemetery. We did walk through it. My dad loved it. There's a lot of history and there are a lot of famous people that have been buried there, historical figures, etc. Hopefully our luck will get a lot better at the next station, Prado Station. This station is pretty famous because it has a historical significance. This is where the elite used to live hundreds of years ago when Medellin was a small city. This is where a lot of the colonial houses are, but now it's part of downtown. Part of Prado, it's kind of dangerous, but we're gonna walk around the neighborhood, see if we can find anything cool. So we were walking down the street and we found the most amazing place, which is a place that holds 2 Guinness World Records. One for having the biggest collage book in the world, and 2 for having the biggest collage building in the world, which is right here. This is the owner right here. ¿Cómo te llamas? Oh my gosh, this is another room full of collages. They all have some sort of story, he says, and meaning to them. He spent over 30 years working on this. This is absolutely gorgeous. He says that this is a historical patrimony of Medellin of Colombia. Absolutely gorgeous. That was an unexpectedly amazing surprise going to that collage museum, the biggest in the world, actually. Now we are headed back to the metro to go to the next stop. We are in Parque Berrío. As you can see, it's probably the most famous, most popular stop where a lot of people congregate. There's live music being played every single day. It's Saturday, so it's a little bit more than usual, but even on a weekday, you'll come here, be people dancing, playing music, usually traditional music. And the name is Parque Berrío because of Pedro Justo Berrío. Antioquia at one point was a sovereign state apart from Colombia, and Pedro Justo Berrío was the president. And there are stories that he ran a very tight ship, meaning that he didn't allow any crime, really. If you were like a drunk and you were just on the street or homeless and didn't do anything, he would throw you in jail. You see these big ass palm trees behind me? They were used to hang criminals. I kind of wish he was back. Don't let this little beautiful church fool you. This area can be pretty dangerous at night. Let's get out of here and go to the next station, San Antonio. And this station is very important because it's where line B and line A meet. So if you need to go west, on line B, this is where you get off and you get onto that next train track going that way. There's this famous little bar here. It's an old school 50s type bar. It's like a time capsule stepping in there. So I want to go in there and have a beer. I've never actually been in it. So this is Salón Málaga, where every weekend night they have live music. It'll be tango or Colombian folk music. When you're in town, you definitely want to check this place out, have a beer. We're back at the San Antonio station. We're not going to continue south though. We're going to continue west on line B to go all the way down to San Javier, make all those stops. Then we'll come back and do the rest of line A, finish off in La Estrella. All right, we're here at our 12th stop in our journey, and it's our first stop on line B. It's called Cisneros. The reason why this is called Cisneros Station, it's after a chief engineer for the old railway. His name was Cisneros. And the cool thing about him was that, number one, he was an immigrant, he was Cuban. And number two, just like many of us, he was an entrepreneur, pretty important entrepreneur to the history of Antioquia. So in honor of his name, let's go see if we can find a toy train for my new baby, Lorenzo. Ok, este es el tren here. Perfecto, ¿ya cómo está ese? 25,400, listo. That was pretty easy. We got Lorenzo's train on my back here. So we're off to the next station, but this station is pretty cool. I like it because there's so many shops and it's less busy than San Antonio station, which is like utter chaos. But you can find a bunch of shops here, a lot of retail. So this one cost me about $7 US, which is a pretty good deal in my opinion. I mean, I wouldn't come down here just for that, but if I were to buy like a bunch of gifts for a bunch of people, that would be the place, or at least for a bunch of kids. Niñolandia is the place. Let's see what we can find at the next station. Okay, this is our 13th stop. It's called Suramericana, and it's called that because we are next to the Suramericana neighborhood. This neighborhood socio-economic stratum is between a 4 and a 5. So it's middle class to upper middle, very family oriented. It's next to a big public library called La Biblioteca Piloto, or the Pilot Library. And it's also near a very famous bakery, which we're gonna go to. Okay, we're here in front of La Migueria, which Migueria means, it's a play on words for the word crumb in Spanish. This thing's been around since 2008. They started with a little oven and a little mixer. Now they've got a lot of different locations around the city. We're gonna try the chocolate cake here with some coffee. Oh my God, it looks Amazing. I'm gonna try a piece, let's see. Oh yeah. That's really good, you try it. Smooth. Smooth. It's very sweet, perfect for some bitter coffee. Their coffee's not bad either, so I highly recommend La Migueria in Suramericana if you're ever in town. It's literally just a 5-minute walk, maybe even less. The station's right behind me. We're gonna finish this and then head off to the next station. We are at the metro station called Estadio, which stands for stadium. It's called El Atanasio Girardot. Not only is this where the soccer team plays, it's a stadium that has a capacity of about 45,000 people, but it's also a big sports complex. You've got Olympic-sized pools, you've got indoor basketball courts, you've got gymnastic arena, and it's all made available to the public for free or at a very low cost. We're not gonna go check out the complex. What we're gonna do is go check out 70th Street, where it's very famous for its nightlife, but during the day you have people selling stuff on the street. Let's go see what we can cop. These are the type of things that you'll find on this street, kind of like souvenirs. You'll find them downtown, probably cheaper. ¿Cómo están?
A 10,000 pesos.
¿Usted hace cuánto está acá en este puesto?
No, hace poquito, hace 18 años estoy aquí en esta parte.
¿Y qué piensas de esta zona, de estadio? ¿Es buena, es mala?
No, esa zona es elegante, es una zona hotelera donde llega mucho turismo, es muy segura. Que venga aquí hay muchas oportunidades, muchas cosas bonitas para conocer, para ver, para disfrutar. Medellín es elegante, bonito.
You heard it from my man here. People like this that are like the salt of the earth that have been working for years, 18 years at the same spot, same location, selling the same type of stuff, supporting his family. He doesn't live in this neighborhood, he lives in a different neighborhood. So if you're ever in town and you see these type of people that are selling stuff on the street like this, these are the type of people that you want to support. I know that it's very tempting to give money to like the homeless people or the people begging on the street with children even, but sometimes that's not really helping. If you really want to help, you could check out the foundation that I founded with a bunch of my friends called Help Colombia. You could go to the website. The link is in the description below, helpcolombianow.com. If you ever want to volunteer, you could check that out as well. But this is a prime example of the Paisa culture and the Paisa tenacity, the Paisa entrepreneurial spirit, where a man like him has probably raised his whole family on this little stall that he has here on the side of the street on La 70. I used to live in this neighborhood. It's beautiful. It's very family oriented as well. There's something new about the neighborhood, which was a surprise to me because I go to Mexico a lot, and in Mexico you've got a lot of these 24/7 like mini markets, like kind of like a 7-Eleven, but we got our first one here in Medellin called Oxxo, and it's right here in front of the metro station. All right, let's check it out. Okay. Oh, no se puede grabar? Okay. So we weren't able to record inside, but don't worry, you didn't miss anything. It's basically like every other little mini market store in Colombia. There's no Mexican products other than like maybe Corona, and that's it. Very underwhelming, but one of the cool things about walking around the neighborhoods as we get off on the metro stations that we see and find little hidden gems like this one. This is a Belgian-owned restaurant/cafe, and it's also a hostel. This is called MIDI, MIDI. Acá estamos con el dueño de MIDI. Cuéntanos un poco de tu restaurante.
Bueno, aquí en el MIDI queremos ofrecer menús del día, pero la idea es de cambiar los fuertes. Proponemos comida del mundo, yo soy chef de comida del mundo y cada semana cambiamos.
Why did you choose Medellin, Colombia?
Difficult question. I really enjoy living here and I wouldn't change for anything. That's why.
All right, so we're done with lunch there at MIDI. It was pretty damn good. I gotta admit, it was a very good change from the typical Colombian menu spot. Now we're headed back to the metro station and we're gonna go to the next stop. This is the Santa Lucia station. This is a poorer neighborhood than Floresta and Estadio, but it's a very nice neighborhood and it's safe. Like I said, I lived in Floresta, which is one station below, and I dated a girl that lived here, not in this building here, but And I spent a lot of time in this neighborhood, and what I loved about the neighborhood were these little shops down here where you could get pretty much anything. In the United States, we have 99-cent stores. In Colombia, we have todo a mil. You can pretty much buy anything from stationery to cups, silverware, whatever you want, whatever you find at a normal 99-cent store they have here. So that's what I loved about this neighborhood, is that you could have those little shops. It's very family oriented as well, and it was very safe. I never had any problems in any of these neighborhoods. Let's go to the next station. There's really no need to get off on this one. We've reached the end of the line. It's called San Javier Station. Now this is an important one because it also connects to the cable cars going into even further neighborhoods. One of the most famous neighborhoods nearby is called Comuna 13, one of the most dangerous neighborhoods in Colombia, in the world, when Medellin was one of the most dangerous cities in the world as well. And it has gone through an amazing transformation through really clever electric stairs that they put through that whole neighborhood, to the graffiti tours that are now offered there, to the entrepreneurship that has gone on there because of all the tourism. We're not going to go on the cable cars. Let me know if you want me to do cable car video by hitting that like button, subscribing to the channel, and writing a comment in the comment section. So as we walk, I wanted to ask you, you've been living in the United States for how many years now?
39.
39 years. And how does it feel to be back in Colombia after 39 years?
Well, so far I feel safe, connected with the culture. People are improving. I believe that is a good idea to come back to establish here one more time to the last stage of my life.
As far as retirement, with U.S. pension,
With $1,500, $2,000, you can afford living in a decent way.
so there you have it. We get a lot of questions about people that have pensions, you know, between $2,000, $3,000 a month. And as you heard my dad, they're here to retire and they're here to die.
I need to check my funeral plan.
Yeah, your funeral plans are, don't worry, they're in good hands. We thought that our journey here in San Javier was going to be over. Little did we know we were going to receive divine intervention.
Toda alabanza, toda adoración es para ti, Rey de Gloria, tú eres digno de suprema alabanza. Yo te lo pido en el nombre de Jesús de Nazaret. Amén y amén.
You're probably wondering what the hell that was all about, but that was Don Ariel. We literally watched him give papaya to some of the birds there, and he saw us walking by. We befriended him in like seconds, and he prayed for my dad. He sat him down, put his hand over his head. He said it's one of his gifts that he has. So he prayed for him, for his well-being, for his family, for his new grandson. Pretty amazing. Again, another prime example of what Colombian people are like. Even if you don't know them, you become instant best friends with people just by connecting. Alpujarra is a very busy stop because it's where the government buildings are, and it also houses my favorite sculptures. It's called La Raza, the monument to the race. The cool thing about it is that it has various sculptures within the sculpture. It represents evolution, right? So we came from the sea, and then there's ever-evolving man and woman. For me, this depicts not only human history, but also Antioquia history, life, death, and all the trials and tribulations that we have to go through. It's really amazing. It's probably the best sculpture, in my opinion. Exposiciones is near the convention center in Medellin, which is called Plaza Mayor. It's also near the Metropolitan Theater, but within walking distance, you don't really have much. If you are a motorcycle enthusiast, if you've got a motorcycle, if you want to buy a motorcycle, this is the place to go because everywhere you go, it's all motorcycles. So we're gonna hop back on the train to go to the next stop. Industriales is just that, industrials. It's an industrial area. But what is cool about here is that it's next to the Titanic. Some people call it beautiful, some people call it an eyesore. The fact of the matter is that it is Bancolombia headquarters, the biggest bank in the country. We are actually walking towards something that most tourists and even people that frequent here a lot won't know about, a little hidden gem, the outlets on Guayabal. And there's a Nike outlet, so I want to go check that out. So this place is pretty big, it's pretty awesome. They've got a lot of stuff. The biggest size for men's they have is size 12. And I remembered now why I don't come here, because I'm a size 13. They only have one shoe in size 13. And this is it right here. What the heck? There's no way I'm getting Celtic shoes. I'm a Laker for life. Now you know where the outlets are here. But don't let that word outlet fool you. Some of these prices are very expensive because they are imports. More expensive than if you got it, let's say, on Amazon. But what I do come here for are, for example, jeans, socks, underwear. You could get really good deals, like 2-for-1s, 3-for-1s, on local brands, etc. So when you come down here, check it out. It's pretty awesome. Let's go to the next stop. If you've been to Medellin before, you know what El Poblado is. Even if you haven't been, you've probably done some research and you understand that this is one of the most expensive neighborhoods. It's where all the nightlife and restaurants are. And we're about 20 or 30-minute walk from El Parque del Poblado, Parque Lleras, Provenza. But we are right next to the Monterrey Mall. Monterrey is probably the mall that I frequent the most because it's where all of the electronic are sold in the area. You can find video game stuff, you can find computer stuff. I need to buy a power bank. All right, so we're crossing the street. We got our power bank. We're heading back to the metro station. This is my go-to brand, iGoma, for any of these type of accessories because they've got a storefront here and they're made here in Medellin. They've always been super reliable. So let's go to the next station. Aguacatala Metro Station. This is an important metro station because they're going to be building a new metro line, and this is going to be one of the main connecting stations. Another important thing to note here, if you are a tourist and you like salsa, this is the spot to get off at to go to El Club Social. Social is one of the most popular salsa clubs and academies if you want to learn or if you just want to dance on a Thursday, Friday, or Saturday night. We're not going to go walk over there right now because it's only 5 p.m. I don't think it's going to be open. So we're just going to stay on the metro and go to the next station. Ayura. This metro station is cool because it is near La Mayorista, which is a big open door market. Let's go check it out. I didn't know what made me think that this open air market that opens up at 4 in the morning, mind you, would be open at 5 p.m. This is La Mayorista, which is an open air market where all of these places in the morning time, you got to come in the morning, not at 5 p.m. when everything's closed. They have a bunch of fruit, a bunch of vegetables for $100 US. You could basically do all of your groceries for the month here because everything is basically wholesale here. Even pet stores, a lot of spices, etc. that are on wholesale. So this is the place to shop if you're in the south. If you're in El Poblado, if you're in Envigado, this is the place to come and do your wholesale supermarket shopping. We're going to our next destination. Envigado is a small city, basically, right next to Medellin. So that's why you see so many people getting off and on, especially during these peak hours. All right, so we're walking from the metro station over to Viva Envigado, which is a giant mall with over 300 stores. It's one of the biggest malls in all of South America, and it's definitely the biggest mall in Medellin. The most impressive thing about this mall, in my opinion, is this upstairs area, the food court. They actually have sit-down restaurants with like an open roof concept right here on this top floor. So as you can see, this mall is pretty impressive. If you've got a wife or a girlfriend or a special someone, this is definitely a place. It could even be a date spot. If you're with my dad and myself, we are ready to get out of here. We're almost at the end of the line. This station is in another city adjacent to Medellin. What's noteworthy about it is that it's more industrial. As you can see, a lot of people coming in and out of this station. The word Itagüí also derives from an indigenous word, ita meaning hand, and gui meaning of wife or of spouse. So it's basically like wife's hand or your spouse's hand. I don't know exactly what it means. The indigenous people that used to live in this area were the Nubares, and it comes from their dialect. So what is it in the vicinity? Well, so as you can see over here behind me, right there, it's another mall. But we're not gonna go in the mall because I am quite frankly done with malls for this video. So we're headed back to the metro to go to the next stop. We are at our 26th stop. It's called Sabaneta. Sabaneta is also its own little municipality, its own little town. Beautiful little town. It's only a 12-minute walk to the Sabaneta Park, or the main square, so let's go check that out. This is the town square, and it really does feel like a small town. One of the things to note here is that they have these little bars called in Colombia fondas, and it seems like there's one on every corner, people just drinking, eating, talking. One of the famous things about Sabaneta, or that many people know Sabaneta for, are their buñuelos. If you don't know what a buñuelo is, it's basically a cheese dough ball, usually eaten for breakfast with coffee, but they say that they sell the biggest buñuelo in Colombia here, so we're gonna try to find one. Oh my gosh, look at the size of these things. That's the size of my hand. It's that big. And then they've got, these are pretty big. These are bigger than the normal sized ones. So I don't think I'm gonna order one of these giant ones. I think I'm gonna order a regular sized one. Have you ever had one of these, Dad?
No, not this big.
Not this big? Okay.
No.
They're good?
100%.
All right, 100% thumbs up, all right. It's everything that you expected a giant cheese dough ball to taste like. Salty, warm, moist. Oh my God, that is good actually. All right, we're off to the next station. We are in the park of La Estrella. It's called La Estrella because of this church right behind me, which is pretty impressive. It's a beautiful church. It's very quaint. Again, it's a lot less population than Envigado and Itagüí and even Sabaneta. And I'm assuming that's a lot cheaper to live over here, but it's very hilly. We're like in a hill, but it's lovely. I love it here. You can tell that this is a very small town. It was a very small town at one point, but obviously because the population has grown in Medellin and people have pushed out to this area, and the construction of the metro station coming out all the way to this little town has made it grow, and it's gonna continue to grow. I love it, man. It's awesome here. All right, you're probably wondering how long this took me to do. It took us about 16 hours. My dad, who's behind the camera, definite trooper, big ups to him. How much did it cost us? Per person, it cost about 80,000 pesos in metro passes, which is about 20 US dollars. I highly recommend it. The metro system is a true testament to the Paisa culture, the Paisa way of thinking, and their hard work ethic. You could tell because they have a lot of pride in it. You could see how clean it is, how much people respect it, and the metro culture, which means that when you are exiting, you go on the left-hand side. When you are coming in, you go on the right-hand side. So it's very organized, it's very efficient, and it's very cheap, even for the locals. I hope that when you come down here, you experience the metro, you check it out for yourself. Let me know in the comments. Have you been on the metro before? What do you think of it? I'll see you guys in the next one.